do have a responsibility to engage with the process of answering the big question, which is what should the legal oversight be of these activities? Because we're all grown-ups, we all realise that we have security services and they're there for a purpose, but we all believe that they need to operate within a framework of law and a framework of parliamentary and legal oversight. So that inquiry by the Intelligence and Security Committee, which has got going a little bit late, I think, but nevertheless is underway, is very important, because the reaction in the UK compared to the reaction in the States was very instructive. You would have thought the States would have been the ones who were sort of saying, move on, nothing to see here. But you have a framework of oversight in the States, which we don't have. And you have things like the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board in the States. We don't have that here. So I think it's important that we do work out what the modern democratic oversight should be of these activities. And I mean, it's not me, just me saying this. You've got former chairs of the Intelligence and Security Committee. You've got very senior figures from this very grown-up world of surveillance who are saying just that. And I think public confidence depends on feeling that the system of oversight that we have is fit for purpose, given that the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act, which again I don't administer, but nevertheless it's a pretty old piece of legislation, and it was dealing with a very analogue world, and we're now at the leading edge of digital 21st century. We need an appropriate framework to deal with that.
Yeah, like you say, there's a lot of people have come out saying that we do need better oversight. I think Chris Huhne was one of them, and he, was obviously a former member of the cabinet and also a member of the National Security Council. And it's remarkable.
So didn't remember being told
had
about it at all?
no knowledge of it, and
yes.
Were you shocked by the extent of these revelations, the fact that there is an absence of these legal oversight mechanisms? Because you'd expect in a democracy like the UK that they would have these things in place even before a scandal like
this. Well,
this.
by definition, you don't know what you don't know. But I don't waste my time being shocked. I'm spending time saying the Information Commissioner's Office wants to be part of working out what the solution should be. That's not saying that I want to regulate this, I'm the big commissioner and I need to do this, that and the other, although I noticed that was raised during the parliamentary debate. Hand this all over to the Information Commissioner. Please not. But at least let us engage with the discussion about what the arrangements should be. Because I think all anyone is asking is that there's proper legal authority for the measures that are taken by our security services to keep us all safe.
And you said that there's a carve-out within your remits for the security services. So your role here is more to put pressure on them, is it?
Well, I mean, there's a specific exemption in the Data Protection Act for information that is dealt with by security. It's one of those exemptions from releasing things under the Data Protection Act. So my writ doesn't run in that area, but I'm in touch with the various commissioners who work with the Home Office, and I think that representing the view of citizens and consumers in relation to the privacy of their personal data, that my voice must be heard.
Why do you think there was less of an outcry in the UK than the US? Because The Guardian picked it up, obviously, and it's run with it. But other newspapers have been much more reluctant to do so, some for obvious reasons perhaps. But it seems that the public haven't really seemed too disturbed by what they're hearing. Well,
possibly until the Boston bomb, we had had more experience of domestic terrorism than perhaps they had in the States. That would be one reason. And there are also all sorts of reasons, sort of dog eat dog in Fleet Street, of why other titles don't like The Guardian, and that goes back to the whole business of blagging and hacking phones and the Leveson inquiry. But let's not go there. I don't know why there wasn't the response originally, but there certainly is now. It's very, very clear that citizens and politicians want to see an answer. We no longer accept some grand privy councillor saying, it's fine, trust me, I know about these things. We expect to see a fit-for-purpose framework for the modern world, and we expect to see an organisation perhaps that's advised by people who know about the technology, rather than, say, just retired GCHQ officials who would give their assurance to very experienced politicians and say, really, don't worry about this, it's fine. We can't just accept that it's fine because somebody has told somebody that it's fine.
Do you think we're witnessing a bit of a crisis of trust at the moment from the public towards public bodies, towards the government, towards corporations, off the back of these Snowden revelations?
I think it started long before Snowden. A crisis of confidence and trust in authority in general. Where's it come from? Is it a product of the collapse of the good times, the age of austerity? Is it disillusion with politics that doesn't seem to deliver? Is it contempt for our leaders because of I don't know, the expenses scandal or something like that? But there's been a shift, I think, in the balance of power between the individual and them, whether you define them as the state or big business or just organisations who tell me what to do. And the shift is partly driven by the ability of individuals, citizens and consumers to deal in a very direct way with organisations through the internet, a sort of online relationship, which is very fast, which is very direct, and enables you to be extraordinarily demanding and rude even to very senior people. And that's bred a certain cynicism, I think. We no longer are quite so in awe of those who seek to run our lives. So I don't think it's got anything to do with Snowden. I mean, Snowden may be part of it, but Snowden didn't start it.